So what's up, everyone? It is your girl Beauty 87 here, aka Grace, and it's time to rank all of the holiday palettes I tried last year, this year for our episode of Christmas in July for this week. So I tried 22 holiday palettes apparently, which to me is quite a bit, but you know, I did. So we're gonna rank all 22 of them today. Now y'all know some of them came in sets, like we got the melt set. I did separate those, so you'll see them throughout the video. But other than that, let's get into it, girl. So number 22 is the Ethereal Eyes eyeshadow palette from Makeup by Mario. As y'all know, this color story just wasn't working for me. Even this darkest brown, like, it wasn't giving what I needed at all. I honestly bought it just to try the ethereal shades and to see how dark the darkest brown was and see how well it would work on some of my skin tones. So I wasn't impressed with this. I feel like if you're my skin tone, you should just buy the Supreme Nudes from Artist Couture. I've said that in other videos. It's just not giving what some of my skin tone needs. But you could also buy the matte palette by Makeup by Mario and just get one of those individual shimmery shades he has that are like this in this palette individually if you wanted to specifically have it from him. But this one just wasn't giving for me. Like, I like the quality of his shadows just fine. It's just, I'm gonna need some darker colors, Mario. What were we doing? Oh, that's what I was about to say something. I'll keep to myself. Number 21 is the Petite Fours Violet palette from Viseart. They came up with this cute little quad. Y'all know I had to get it. Like, the color story is so me. The only thing I don't like is the sequin shade right here, but I have other palettes like this where you can take the pans out. So I'm most likely gonna get rid of that one and get a new one once I get a new palette that I like. But I liked it okay. It was just for 4 shades. I feel like you can't do much with it. And all the other palettes I have in here, you can do so much with. So it was kind of just like, you know, I got this one shade that I'm not going to use. So I don't really have a transition shade. I just have an outer V and then a shimmer for the lid and then a shimmer for the inner corner. So it didn't give too much of anything. But the quality of Viseart shadows are always nice. It's just I needed more and it wasn't giving more. And that's fine. But, you know, like I don't have to settle for less with all the other stuff going on out here. Next, I have the first Milk Cosmetics palette I talked about, number 20. This is the, what is it, the Air palette, the Bad Zodiac Sign collection. If y'all remember, my pink shade is broken, so I'm gonna just keep the plastic on and try to hold it away where it's not reflecting off and you can see it. There we go. Okay, so sorry, yeah, right there. So this is what she looks like. This just isn't my kind of color story necessarily. I feel like the peachy shades were a little too light for me. They were fine for transitions, but otherwise they weren't really serving a purpose for me. I didn't like the shimmers at the top, and like I have so many purples because I'm a purple palette connoisseur. So this just didn't do anything for me, but y'all know I'm a melt stand. So I was gonna buy it and try out the whole collection and see how it went, and it was just meh. Like, that one to me was meh. Like, if I could easily get rid of one, it would be that one because it just wasn't all of that. So number 19 is the Tarte Man Eater After Dark palette. I know, right? I bought a Tarte palette, but I think I ended up getting it for like 30% off. So that's how I ended up in my collection because everybody was raving about how wonderful it was. Karen was talking about how nice it was. I believe my girl Stephanie or Bass Beauty here on YouTube was talking about this was a pretty decent palette. So since everybody said they had stepped up the formula on the palette finally, I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll try it out or whatever. So this is what the color story looks like. She looks okay or whatever. It just reminded me like a giant version of the, what is it, Smoky Eyes Are Forever from Charlotte Tilbury with a better formula, because the formula on this one is definitely better than that one. It's more pigmented and gives more oomph, if you will, and the Charlotte Tilbury doesn't do that. So I'm glad to have this one in my collection, and I'm glad the formula is better than their other palettes used to be, and it actually has more inclusive colors when it comes to like neutrals that they chose and the browns and all that. So I appreciate it. It's not what I'm gonna reach for a lot because we know those aren't my type of colors, but I was intrigued to try the formula since everybody was talking about how wonderful it was. So next, number, what is this, 18 is the Muppets and Color Pop Holidays palette. I changed mine around a little bit because y'all know I wasn't feeling the pressed glitterish formula that they made that's supposed to be eye safe, but you can tell like it has glitter in it or whatever. I wasn't feeling that, so I took some shades out. Like I pressed down and added this pink in here. I took this green from another palette, and I think I took one more shade from another palette. Still some sequin shades in here that I'm not necessarily crazy about, but I like the color story better this way. And it's not like it's a bad palette at all. It's just more of, I have so many other color stories that I feel like I would reach for more, and this one's just, you know, it's cute, but it's not anything I'm obsessed with or feel like I have to have. I just want to try it out, and I think I got it at Ulta for like a steal, so I went ahead and bought it. Number 17 is the Fire palette. To me, this color story was better than the Air one, but y'all know I don't like warm tones, so that's why this one got so much lower down. You'll see the other two higher up because they're more of my color story. But this is a nice color story overall, and something that made it to the very top is similar to this, but I feel like it has better formula and better shimmers and whatnot, so that's why this is as low as it is. Y'all know I don't really do fire looks, but you know, she was cute and she did a better job than the Air palette, so you know, I had to give her due. And I said that was 18, right? So 17 is the Unearthly Cosmetics Dead of Night palette. This is what she looks like on the inside. These shimmers, a couple of them are starting to hard pan. Like I feel like this green one is starting to hard pan. And like I believe it was the purple one that started to hard pan, because I used this, I want to say maybe like a month ago, and I felt like they were harder to pick up out of the pan. And as I've told y'all before, I've been having issues with like the shimmers in here, and a lot of you all said you've been having issues too. So I don't want to rank this too high. Plus there's a color story that I have that's similar to this that's going to be higher up, because I feel like they did a better job and gave me more shades to choose from. Plus the formula is a little bit better, so that's why this got to be number 18 where it is. I believe it's 18, it might be 17. Next, I'm just going to put these two together because I feel equally the same about them. I do like the red one just a tad bit more because I feel like there are more true mattes in here as opposed to satin mattes like they are in the green. But this is the khaki and burgundy palettes from Dior. This is my first time trying Dior eyeshadows. So I was pleasantly surprised about liking them, because I know when it comes to like the quints that they have that are part of the luxury line, I wasn't that big a fan of them. But I like these a lot, and I was happy to add them to my collection. Now, I don't reach for them that often. These are ones I'd probably like take out of town when I want to have pops of color and want to feel luxurious and bougie. But like on every day, I don't see myself wearing these too often. But I did like the formula, and since it was my first time trying it, and I was quite impressed with it, that's why I got kind of higher up to where it is. So I think those are like, what is 16 and 15? So let's get into number, I guess this would be 14. I hope I got the number right, girl. Who knows? But next is the Natasha Denona Retro Glam palette. Now I was trying to remember if this was like their holiday release or if it was the excuse me, the My Dream palette. But I remember now that it was this one, so I went over in the corner and grabbed it. This is what we asked her for, and this time she came out with the original retro palette, so I was glad she came out with this. But at the same time, it's like a lot of these colors like muted and don't necessarily work for my skin tone, and at the end of the day I have to rank it based upon how well I can use it. So it's okay, it's not exceptional. I like the Mel Thompson bundle more because there's more like nude and neutral shades that work for everyone's skin tone, not just for the lighter end, which I feel like this is who this is for. So it's okay, the quality is fine. It's just the color story doesn't necessarily work out that well for my skin tone. I know her shadows do oxidize and get to be a little bit darker than they look in the pan, but you know, it's only going to oxidize so much. So yeah. Next we have the Earth palette from Melt Cosmetics in the Zodiac collection. So as I told you, some of these some of them are going to be higher up. Like I like the color story of this one more. I like the fact that it has the greens and it has this nice deepish purplish burgundy-ish type shade going on, and I just like the color story of this one more as a whole, so that's why this one got higher up. Because it's not like the quality of them is different in any way, it's just more of my color story preference that comes down to it. So I like the color story of this one more. I like the look I came up with it more than with the other one, so that's why she got to be higher up. Next we have the Empowered palette. So this one, I love how she always puts different formulas in here. Now, I'm not necessarily crazy about the shade Manifested with like the jelly inside of it and the shimmer, but you know, it's okay. My shade Bold Moves, it showed up cracked, so I had to press it in. I'm really loving the shades Limitless and Charisma, but I feel like they look somewhat similar in the pan. I'm not necessarily crazy about this color story as a whole, but I felt like it was the standard quality of Huda Beauty, so that's why I got to be kind of ranked higher up. Plus I love the fact that she always puts different finishes when she does do these palettes, so I could appreciate that. So that's how it got to be where it is. But the color story definitely wasn't me. Y'all know my color story from Huda Beauty is the Rose Quartz palette. That is my personal favorite like holiday palette she's come out with. That one and the new nudes she came out with originally, which was the first full-size palette I bought from her. Next we have the Strawberry Shortcake X Glam Light palette. This is the palette they came out with of holiday of last year, so this is what she looks like. I love the shimmers in this, and I like the shimmer to matte ratio in here. I feel like they did a good job with the colors that they chose and all that. But my whole thing is like I couldn't rank this too much higher, because it's like since I have the Strawberry Milkshake palette and I've played with that for so much longer than this one, it's like I already have a palette that's similar to this, and I like my strawberry milkshake better because it has some fun, unique shades to it, as opposed to just all strawberry and all green, if you will. Even though the shades and the different tones of mattes and all that is nice, but I feel like when I get the mattes on the eyes, they look pretty similar in tone. So it's just kind of like, it's cute, but you know, I love it more for the shimmers than I do for the mattes, since a lot of the mattes end up looking similar in tone when I put them on my eyes. So that's why I couldn't put it too much higher, but I love the shimmers enough and I love the color story enough to put it as high as I did. So next we have the Danessa Myricks. Which one is this? Lightworks Volume 4 Transcendence Palette. I believe this is 4. This is what she looks like on the inside. I love the color story of this, but again, I have a palette that's similar to this. Like if you all have the All I Ever Wanted Volume 2 from Unearthly Cosmetics, you don't really need this palette because they have a lot of similar colors in them, and then you don't have to worry about this row here that everybody seems to hate. I personally don't like this row either. I feel like it doesn't give anything or add anything that I need, and it's difficult to work with. But I feel like if you're a makeup artist, you might appreciate that row, and I've heard some makeup artists who have this palette in their collection say that they appreciate the row. I just don't appreciate it, along with a lot of other makeup consumers. So that's why I didn't want to put it too much higher, because it's like I'd reach for my Unearthly All I Ever Wanted Volume 2 before I reach for this, just because of those tones in the middle that I don't want to be bothered with. I hate to say that because I love Danessa Myricks, but it's like I should wait till she comes out with the 8 pans with the shades in them and just buy those, because I'm not feeling these weird giant shades in the middle that you have to water activate or liquid activate or whatever you have to activate in order to use it. I'm not feeling them. I don't like it. Next, I have the last palette from the Melt Cosmetics Zodiac collection, and it's my sign, of course, the water sign. Y'all know I live for a blue moment. I love blue palettes, and I love the variations of blues they put in here. I think it's stunning. I wish that the blueprint palette had looked more like this, as opposed to the way they made it look with the lighter browns and cooler browns, all that. I feel like this is what I wanted the blueprint palette to be, and the formula on this is pretty good, and I really like this color story. And of course I'm going to be biased because my zodiac sign, but y'all know blues are like one of my favorite colors. I like blues, I like greens, I like purples. I mean, look at the eyes. Hello, what do we have on them? We have blue, we have green, we have a pinkish purple tone. So y'all know those are my tones. Like that, that's just it. That's just it. The last one I have to talk about before we get to the top 3, which I feel like you should already know what they are, but is the Beauty Bay Dark Fantasy palette. This was their holiday palette for last year, and I told y'all I had one that I liked better than the Dead of Night from Unearthly. So this is it. I feel like they have definitely similar tones to them, and you get more variety in this palette with a nice color story and a good formula, and I don't have to worry about these shimmers having the hard pan in them. So that's why I put this one higher up. It's not that I don't like the Unearthly one, it's just because the shimmers started to hard pan. That's my whole issue with it. So I'm definitely feeling this one a whole lot more, and will probably reach for it more. I might pair it with the Dead of Night palette too, because it does have some deeper tones in the Dead of Night that aren't necessarily in that palette that I feel like would go good together, but you know, that's just me. Now on to the top 3, honey. So I feel like you should not be surprised about what any of these palettes brands are from, because all 3 of these brands were in my top 10 favorite eyeshadow palette video. So let's start off with Beaute. Y'all know I showed y'all these palettes in that video too. I like the Aura palette more than I like the Envy, believe it or not, and you'll be shocked probably when you see the inside, because like I love the color story of this. Like I love the fact that it gave these nice berries with the purples, and then like this fuchsia like pink, but you still get like these weird grungy dark green shades to make like a nice neutral look, and then put some pops of berry into it. So I really was loving the way the eye looks I made with this came out, and I am in love. And I'm still like trying to use this palette on and off from time to time, so I had to like rank it higher. Then we have the Envy palette. I'm just showing them you know, together as groups, because the last 3 palettes, I'm sorry, the last 3 brands of palettes came out with 2 palettes apiece. This is the Envy palette. To me, this is just like a more condensed version of the Oceanic palette that isn't as fun, because you got this little grungy section right here for you to make a neutral look and then put like a pop of shimmer on the lid, or if you want to darken up the other colors in here, you can use those. So I feel like it's just like you can go down each row and come up with an eye look, or you can just play all across the palette and get a look. But I really loved this. I really love the quality of this. Since they've changed their formula, I've been in love and obsessed. So I was so glad to get my hands on both the palettes, and Beaute's palettes are number 3. So number 2 is my Lethal Cosmetics holiday collection. So this is the Metamorphosis palette, and this is the Evergreen palette. So the Metamorphosis one is the one I told you the reason that the Fire palette from Melt didn't get ranked higher, because I mean this looks pretty similar to that, and I feel like it gives me better color combinations and colors to choose from. Plus it has like multi-chromes in it, and dual chromes in it with different shifting shades that I can use to put with all these fun colorful mattes. And I just think this is a gorgeous palette, so I'm glad I got my hands on it. Y'all know I don't usually like fiery palettes like that, but I feel like they did a great job when it comes to that one, and that's one of the few that I would actually like go back and use recently. I feel like I should do a video on that, like warm tone palettes I actually love, because y'all know I'm a cool tone queen. I mean, I'm wearing a good amount of cool tone on my eyes right now, so I definitely feel like I should, you know, do that video. So, see, I told y'all, every time I make a video for y'all, I end up being inspired to make other video content based upon what I'm doing in that video. But next, the Evergreen palette. Now, y'all know this one is my favorite. And when I open it, you'll know why. I mean, look at it. Isn't this just me in a palette? Like, y'all know I love me a blue, green, purple moment, and it's definitely giving all that, you know. It gives you a nice little neutral transition shade here. Then you got this fun pop of yellow with what is it, green reflex, I think it's green and blue reflexive shimmer in it. Then you get some nice deeper grungier tone shades to put for your outer V. Like you got this nice deep foresty greenish, I guess, type shade, or foresty green turquoise, and then you got like more of a deeper gray green foresty shade. Whoever made this color story hit it out the park. I absolutely love it, and I love you for making it. Thank you so much. Thank you. The last one that's #1, of course, nobody is surprised that it's the Diypansy Christmas collection. We got the Christmas Eve palette and the Merry Christmas palette. Now, I do like the Merry Christmas palette more than the Christmas Eve palette, but I did give y'all alternatives to both of these palettes just in case you can get your hands on it. So this is the Christmas Eve palette, and it is stunning, but it looks really similar to the what's that brand, the Nomad Cosmetics Whistle Snow Lodge, excuse me. So if you didn't get your hands on this, you can get the Whistle Snow Lodge, you know, and it'll be similar. It won't be exact, it'll be similar. Like, it's not gonna have the fun shifting shade like this one down here, and I think it's one more in here, isn't it? I know, like this one down here, it's not gonna have those type of fun shades, but you'll still get, you know, like a really similar color story and some really similar looks. I did a whole video on it a while back. Y'all know when I used to still do the battles, I did a video on it with the battle, comparing it to something else. And then there's Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas is my favorite of the two, just because I really like the color story of this. I like the fact that they put the pinks and the reds and the oranges in at the bottom, so it's like a nice little green moment up here if you want to do more of a true traditional green one, and then they gave you like fun pops of like red and pink to do at the bottom. So I just love the way this one was curated a little bit more than the way Christmas Eve is curated, especially because I already have the Whistle Snow Lodge, and I told y'all they're both really similar. Now, if you have the Poison Apple palette from Unearthly Cosmetics, then if you missed out on this, it's okay, because they make similar tones. Now, it's not gonna have all the fun shifty shades that this palette has, like this fun shifting shade right here, Elf Wish, and I feel like there's one other one in here. And then Snowman has some nice reflexive shimmer, but I feel like Snowman is actually really similar to one in the Unearthly palette. So if you have the Poison Apple and you have the Whistle Snow Lodge, then you didn't truly miss out on these two palettes. You just missed out on having the special shades and having it in the Diypansy formula version. But those are all the holiday palettes I tried last year, and those are how I ranked them and are my favorites. So comment down below and tell me if you agree or not with the way I ranked them, or if you own any of these palettes and I inspired you to pull them out by seeing this video. If you're curious what's on my eyes, I probably should have said that at the beginning. This is the Nocturnal palette from Glaminatrix Cosmetics. This is a palettes that inspired me video, so it should be coming up soon, hopefully. But I got so many backed up palettes that inspire me, and just backup videos in general, till God only knows when this one's gonna come out. So you can comment down below if you're really interested in this eye look, and I'll push this one forward as opposed to putting the other ones that I already made a while ago up. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be blessed, girl. Bye.